Welcome to Cupid's Mana. Today we recap the romance webtoon Offering Salted Fish to Master, starring Liao Tingyan. Liao was a tired office worker dreaming of a lazy life. Suddenly, she awoke in a legendary immortal sect. Trapped in this cultivation world with zero memories of her new body, she faced a terrifying crisis of identity. Her master stood before her, elegant and polite. Fearing for her life, she stayed frozen, barely breathing under him. One wrong move and he might realize she's a fake. Would he obliterate her soul for stealing this body? The man she dubbed Discount Master noticed her dazed look. He spoke with a voice like warm, soothing silk. Tingyan, don't overwork yourself. You're a late bloomer with low seniority, so just relax and take things very slowly. The 8 great factions are gathering. But our Qingyun Peak is just here to fill the empty seats today. Our supreme ancestor has been sealed on Three Saints Mountain for 500 years. Now, his long seclusion ends. This is a monumental era for the righteous path. The entire cultivation world is shaking with excitement for him. Liao nodded blankly, pretending to understand the gravity. Internally, she was drowning in a sea of total confusion. Technical jargon flew over her head. She had no clue what he meant, but she stayed silent and nodded. Since there was no way home, she decided to embrace the flow. She imagined the legendary Grandmaster in her, probably an old man with a snowy beard. She hoped he was a gentle soul who wouldn't be difficult. Anxiously, she asked her discount master if the ancestor was kind. Master let out a soft, reassuring little chuckle. Don't worry, his title is Changsheng Dajun. He's a legendary figure, generations above even our very own sect leader. He's the sect leader's martial uncle. Though I've never met him, his title suggests a benevolent and saintly elder. He summoned a mystical cloud and whisked her away. Soon they arrived at the grand selection site for him. She felt thrilled. This immortal life seemed easy, provided she wasn't caught. But the scene ahead was absolutely shocking. Over 100 beautiful female cultivators were gathered there. The sheer scale of the event made her jaw drop. Was this a selection or a reality show audition? Was the ancestor seeking new disciples or a personal harem? The sect leader's niece, Mu Xing, spotted Liao's radiant beauty. She approached with a sharp, judging gaze and questions. Which branch do you belong to, junior sister? Discount Master answered that Liao was just a brand new disciple. Mu Xing's jealousy vanished instantly. She dismissed Liao as just another pretty face with absolutely no cultivation talent. After throwing some petty insults at the others, she lost interest. Liao was finally left alone in the crowd. Master whispered, "Don't feel any pressure. It's okay if you fail. I won't be disappointed in you at all." Liao hummed obediently, though she wasn't worried. She was only there to be an extra in this play. Suddenly, a heavy bell echoed through the air. 5 streaks of divine light descended from the heavens above. 5 powerful figures materialized before the hall. The surrounding girls began to whisper in states of frantic shock. The sect leader himself appeared! Usually, only a few elders handle these matters, but today is completely different. Even during the Demon Wars, the full leadership never gathered like this. This selection is of extreme importance. The leader finally spoke. Today, we choose 100 disciples to serve the great ancestor, Changsheng Dajun himself. Together with the elders, we shall now release 10,000 spiritual lights to find those destined for this honor. If the light embraces you, you are chosen. Liao Tingyan looked down and felt her heart sink instantly. She was glowing intensely. While others cheered with joy, she stood there in a state of absolute, deadpan disbelief. Wasn't she just meant to be background filler? Why on earth was she being picked for this dangerous task? Before she could protest, the world blurred. She opened her eyes to find herself standing before a forbidden palace. This was the site of the ancestor's 500-year slumber. An imposing fortress loomed over the nervous disciples. Towering iron pillars and massive black chains wrapped around the tower. It didn't look like a place for meditation. Above them, a jade plaque pulsed with ancient runes. The word seal burned into her mind with ominous power. Something felt terribly wrong. This wasn't a holy sanctuary. It looked like a prison for a truly terrifying monster. The other girls whispered in fear. Three Saints Mountain has been locked away for 5 centuries for a reason. The atmosphere was suffocating and eerie. Why are there so many chains? Why can't I feel my own energy? Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered the silence. The dark mystery of the mountain was about to reveal its teeth. Liao! Snow-white petals with obsidian hearts. Beautiful, yet a girl wailed. Ghost blooms, unknown to Leo. Why such sudden terror? The leader demanded silence. His divine pressure loomed. Fascinating telepathy. True cultivation. Dao Junswang finally awakens. Obtain his favor now. Serve him or perish. Spy on his secrets. A sage or monster. Pretty girls, mere sacrifices. A thunderous explosion erupted. Spiritual shockwaves crushed them. Blood sprayed the ground. Razor-sharp aura sliced skin. Master Uncle, please stop! Quell your divine fury. Disciples wailed for mercy. A cold, murderous chuckle. All of you die. A demon king's servant. A final deathbed scroll. 5 centuries of seclusion. A chilling command echoed. He entered the mist. He returned, broken, bloodied. Scholar turned into wreck. Maidens stay, others flee. Run while you can! He fled in shame. Violence surged within him. A massive serpent loomed. Crimson eyes. Terrified screams. We are here, Senior. Ready to serve him. Predatory eyes scanned them. Labyrinthine halls of blood. Fresh stains. Frozen hearts. She wanted to escape. A barefoot, pale man. Come, he commanded coldly. Greetings, Grandmaster, Leo whispered. Pale skin, red beads. Just seeing his slender ankles sent a sudden, paralyzing shiver through her heart. The Grandmaster glided forward, his dark robes concealing his steps as he approached. His voice was icy, yet sharp, cutting through the silence. How bold! Suddenly, warm crimson sprayed across Liao Yin's face as a life was snuffed out. Her senior sister collapsed, lifeless eyes wide with terror. Liao Yin barely stayed upright. He just killed her like that? This nightmare was spiraling out of control. But wait. The dead girl's face began to shift into a complete stranger. A horrified gasp broke the silence. That isn't our sister! Who is she? Amidst the chaos, Liao Yin realized the Grandmaster was now looming over her. You have quite the nerve, he whispered, tilting her chin with terrifying grace. Her soul nearly fled. Guts? I haven't done anything. Please don't kill me. Perhaps her desperate will to live was strong enough to trigger a miracle. Suddenly, Grandmaster Simia winced in pain. His piercing gaze locked onto Liao Yin. He recoiled instantly. Liao Yin collapsed to the floor, gasping for her life. I'm alive? She stared up, confused by his sudden, agonizing transformation. His elegant face twisted with fury, his eyes burning with a dark, primal rage. His aura crackled with violent power. Get out, all of you, leave now! Terror gripped everyone. The cultivator scattered like a flock of frightened birds. Even the massive black snake hissed in fear, dragging the corpse away. At the palace gates, Liao Yin stole one final glance at the unfolding madness. Is this legendary Grandmaster mentally unstable? She wondered, her mind racing. The fresh air finally snapped her back to reality. She had actually survived. The others gathered outside, trembling. Muxing quickly tried to regain control. The sect leader ordered us to serve him. We must settle here. But Yunia, the proud heiress of the Yun family, was having none of it. She stood her ground, looking completely unimpressed by the senior sister's orders. He clearly hates us. Staying is pointless. Muxing bristled at the challenge. Yunia only smirked. Nonsense? We all saw him murder someone in cold blood. Muxing flushed with anger. Do you really think everything is just fine? That woman was a spy. He killed her as a warning to us all. Yunia scoffed. Then tell me, Who's the next sacrifice in this deadly game? Tensions exploded. In a flash, both women summoned their glowing spiritual weapons. A chaotic brawl erupted. Liao Yin watched the madness from the sidelines. Are we cultivators or characters in some dramatic palace power struggle? This was a full-blown soap opera, complete with flying blades and hair pulling. A knife whistled past her feet. Nope! I'm staying far away from this. She had cheated death once today and wasn't looking for a second round. When the fighting finally ceased, the group had split into two bitter rivals. Surprisingly, they shared one unspoken rule: stay as far from Liao Yin. None of them dared approach the girl who caught the Grandmaster's eye. It was as if his attention was a lethal, contagious curse. Liao Yin sighed with relief, realizing she was once again perfectly invisible. Fine by me, she thought. She didn't belong in this crazy world anyway. If she died here, maybe she'd just wake up back in her bed. She only feared the pain, fully embracing her inner slacker instincts. Tucked away in a serene corner, she drifted into a peaceful slumber, oblivious to the scheming disciples nearby. Little did they know, their every treacherous whisper was being devoured by a predator lurking in the shadows. Atop a colossal obsidian serpent, the master watched as rival factions poisoned their disciples' minds with toxic dreams. Victory is non-negotiable. Win the Grandmaster's heart at any cost, or our families will face total ruin. As they babbled about sect survival, Sima Xiao released a chilling sneer, his aura thick with pure, unadulterated loathing. Such audacity, he hissed, rising to stand upon the beast's skull. The massive viper began to tremble. Years of service couldn't numb the terror. One never knew when this mercurial lord might choose to strike. His temperament shifted like a desert storm. 1 second calm, the next a whirlwind of lethal madness. Fearing a premature shedding from sheer stress, the loyal mount focused solely on gliding forward with absolute precision. Suddenly, a soft hum vibrated from above, and the serpent froze instantly, paralyzed by its master's sudden interest. Sima Xiao's eyes narrowed on a curious sight. While others plotted for power, one woman lay basking in the sun. In a world of cutthroat survival, she was actually daring to take a nap. Intrigued, he descended toward her. As his boots hit the grass, the serpent recoiled, shrinking its massive frame into an anxious, trembling knot. The beast stared at the sleeping girl in shock. Who possessed the insane courage to slumber before its master? Little Leo was lost in dreamland. Sima Zhao knelt, his piercing gaze fixated on the silk covering her eyes. Seeing her chilled beverage nearby, he chuckled. This little kitten certainly knew how to indulge in luxury. With a flick of his wrist, he unveiled her face. The serpent's heart nearly stopped. This was a death sentence. Disaster was imminent. Yet as his fingers grazed her soft skin, a dark, enigmatic grin touched his lips. A demonic spy in my midst? He whispered. His hand slid to her neck, his grip tightening like a noose. Did the Jinn immortal sect send you to tempt me? He murmured, his voice a suffocating blend of silk and steel. Or have I grown so dull that I missed your presence? His hold grew firm, then suddenly he let go. The urge to kill vanished as quickly as it had come. Sima Zhao withdrew, his interest diverted for now. He idly stroked the serpent's obsidian hide before ruthlessly plucking a single scale. The creature let out a silent cry. Betrayed and pained, the snake mourned its loss, but its master only offered a cruel, devilish smirk in return. Perhaps, he mused, I desire their ruin even more than the demons do. His eyes burned with dark anticipation. Unaware she had danced with the Reaper in her sleep, Leo finally awoke as the crimson sun dipped low. Embracing her inner slacker, she stumbled upon a vacant residence and claimed it as her own personal sanctuary. Making herself at home, she wandered the grounds, sipping fine bamboo brew while marveling at her incredible luck. Stunning views, free banquets, and zero responsibilities, she thought. This wasn't a trial. It was an all-expenses-paid dream vacation. Her eyes caught the ethereal glow of those mysterious blossoms once again, shimmering under the silver moonlight. The legendary ghost blooms were mesmerizing. Under the stars, their petals and leaves had completely inverted their hues. Incredible, she breathed. But a sudden rustle nearby broke the silence. Was someone else out for a midnight stroll? Peeking through the foliage with curiosity, she spotted another disciple. But this woman wasn't just admiring the beauty. She was greedily harvesting the blooms, whispering excitedly about their rare value, completely blind to the shadows closing in. A sinister silhouette loomed behind the thieving girl, a silent reaper ready to collect a soul for the flowers. Leo froze. She recognized that terrifying figure instantly, the cold-blooded Grandmaster who slaughtered as easily as he breathed. Every instinct screamed that the girl was doomed. Leo wanted to shout a warning, but her survival instinct won. Holding her breath until her lungs burned, she watched in horror. In a flash of silver, death arrived. Steel sang, and the girl's head tumbled to the earth. A crimson fountain erupted where a life once stood. The carnage was overwhelming. 2 brutal executions in one day. Leo's legs buckled as she collapsed into the dirt. She clamped her hands over her mouth, fighting the rising bile. One sound, one gag, and she'd be the next victim. Panic fueled her survival instincts. I'm invisible. I'm a rock. Please, Almighty Lord, don't look this way. Right then, she swore an oath. No more walks, no more sightseeing. Total isolation was her only hope. She would become a professional hermit, staying indoors if it meant keeping her head attached. Thankfully, the Grandmaster seemed indifferent to her presence as he vanished into the night atop his terrifying mount. With the feast finished, they vanished. Leon fled to her room as if the Reaper were at her heels. Despite the day's bloodshed, exhaustion took hold. She collapsed into a deep, dreamless sleep. Around 2 a.m., as she slept soundly, the massive obsidian serpent decided to stir. The creature coiled onto her bed, looming over her like a dark, silent shadow. Was she truly this defenseless? The snake shrank down and flicked its tongue against her cheek. Feeling a cold moisture, Leonin stirred. Half asleep, she blindly swiped at the air. She pushed the beast's head aside, mumbling, "Stop it, you big baby." In her daze, she mistook the monster for her old pet dog, absent-mindedly stroking it. But instead of soft fur, she felt icy scales. The chill jolted her wide awake. She opened her eyes to a nightmare. A cavernous maw and glowing crimson eyes. Her brain short-circuited in pure terror. Was she about to become a midnight snack? She fell to her knees, praying desperately. "Brother Snake, please, have mercy." "Can't you pace your meals? With 100 of us, you'll have food for months. 3 a day, and you'll starve within weeks." Poor Leonin had completely misread the situation. The beast wasn't a man-eater. Samaya simply used it as a supernatural trash compactor. Sadly, the serpent couldn't speak to defend its innocence or explain its true motive. It was just thirsty. The snake nudged her bamboo cup across the floor. She picked it up with trembling hands. "Wait, you just wanted a drink?" The snake bobbed its head frantically, its big eyes shimmering with desperate hope. Relieved she wasn't the main course, she sighed. "I really thought I was dead. Hold on, I'll get you a proper cup from my storage pouch." This was spiritual bamboo nectar, a sweet essence that refreshed the very soul. As the leaves appeared, the serpent's tail began to wag in pure excitement. It wagged like a loyal hound, gulping the drink like the world's happiest puppy. Leonin marveled. Grandmaster Samaya really did raise a giant dog. Their nightly ritual began. Every midnight, the serpent returned, not to hunt, but to mooch off her sweet drinks. An unlikely friendship blossomed. Meanwhile, the chaotic Sima Xiao was looking for trouble. He lived to stir the pot, especially when his mood turned dark. Then came Yunya, a conniving schemer who thought she could tame the legendary monster. She didn't realize her every move was already under his watchful, bored gaze. She led her entourage to the central tower, demanding an audience with the master. Samaya, ever the gracious host, granted it with a look of absolute apathy. Playing the demure maiden, she whispered, "I only wish to serve your daily needs, master." Samaya didn't do pleasantries. He cast a truth spell, stripping away her mask. "Speak your hidden intent." Terror drained the color from her beautiful face. The truth was ripped from her. "I came to bear your child," she confessed. "With your bloodline heir, we will ensnare and finally execute you. The sect will be free, and the Yoon family shall finally rule supreme." Samaya remained unfazed, his cold gaze shifting to her trembling followers. He cast the spell again. His presence weighed down on them like a mountain. Another voice cracked under the pressure. "I only followed her to find the right moment. I want to betray her so the Mo family can finally surpass the Yoon." Yunia's face contorted with murderous rage, though the spell held her frozen. If she could move, she would have butchered her loyal follower right there. Samaya's lips curled into a wicked smirk. After all these years, humans never changed. "Still no better plan?" he mocked. The Sima family bloodline now rested solely on his weary shoulders alone. "If I fall, this entire sect crumbles." His chilling laughter widened into a sharp, mocking sound of defiance. "I will drag you all to hell." As his mirth faded, Yunya and her squad dropped dead instantly. Simultaneously, the soul lamps at the sect shattered. Their life force was completely and utterly wiped away forever. Reincarnation was now impossible. The Yoon family sought the leader, their fury barely contained behind their eyes. "Does Sima Zhao truly fear nothing?" they hissed. The sect leader only offered a dark, knowing chuckle. "Half of our female disciples are already corpses," he noted. What could he possibly be afraid of now? At this point, fear was a luxury he could not afford. He had nothing left to lose anymore. If he were not bound to the Three Saints Mountain, their entire immortal sect might not even exist. They sighed, eyes dark with calculation. "The real monsters have yet to move. We must wait and see." Meanwhile, Liao Tingyan was living her best life. Her routine? Just eating, sleeping, and repeating it all daily. Between naps and bonding with her snake companion, she enjoyed a perfect, uninterrupted, and peaceful vacation vibe. Several days of peace passed. But one night, a sudden, stabbing pain tore through her stomach like lightning. The sheer intensity jolted her awake. As she regained consciousness, the agony only grew more and more violent. At first, she thought it was a period, but there was no blood, only a strange hollow ache. Why was her female cultivator body so weird? A stomachache without a cycle made no sense at all. Before she could think, the pain became unbearable. A mouthful of crimson blood sprayed from her pale lips. Everything went black as she passed out. The giant snake panicked, seeing her barely clinging to her life. It hesitated between offering its own essence or finding its ruthless master to save her from certain death. In the end, it dragged Tingyan back to Sima Zhao, pleading for help in its own silent way. Sima Zhao stared at the unconscious girl. He then glanced at his clumsy pet, his expression turning cold. "What have you done?" he demanded. The snake could not explain the chaos over all the background noise. Before he could decide if he cared, Tingyan stirred. "So cold," she muttered, seeking any heat source nearby. She instinctively crawled toward Sima Zhao. She latched onto his leg like he was a human space heater. "Give me a blanket," she mumbled, pressing closer for warmth. Sima Zhao's expression instantly turned dark and deadly. No one had ever dared to grab him like this. The snake trembled, certain she was absolutely dead now. The expected bloodbath never came. Instead, Sima Zhao placed a hand on her stomach, his gaze sharpening instantly. He quickly realized she was poisoned. It was bone-eating venom, a lethal toxin from the demonic realm. Whether it was a trap or bad luck, he did not care. This poison was mere child's play. This kind of poison was nothing to him. He could cleanse her soul with a single, effortless thought. Without hesitation, he pulled her into his arms. He held her close, like he was about to save her. The snake watched in confusion. Was he seriously going to use his own divine blood to heal her? His blood had special properties that could neutralize any poison. It stayed quiet, waiting to see the result. Sima Zhao pried her mouth open. He pressed a finger to her lips, expecting a sharp predator's bite. Instead, he felt a warm, soft touch. His eyes flickered with intrigue. This just got very interesting indeed. Even knowing she was a demonic spy, he found himself oddly intrigued by her strange, gentle nature. But he forgot that humans were not like snakes. She had no fangs to pierce his thick skin. After she uselessly gummed his finger, he pulled back in disgust. Useless human teeth, he spat out. He let the snake bite him instead. Then, he let the fresh blood drip into Tingyan's pale mouth. He did not leave. He planned to question her the moment she woke up from her deep slumber, but she didn't stir. "Is my blood not working?" he hissed, shoving his finger further into her mouth. He grew annoyed that his power was failing. He forced more of his essence into her weak body. Meanwhile, the unconscious Tingyan was suffering. The burning venom had been replaced by a freezing, icy chill. It felt like she was freezing from the inside out. In that moment, she truly thought it was over. Is this the end? She wondered. Would dying finally allow her to return to her original home? A honeyed sweetness coated her tongue, followed by a surge of warmth, the pain and cold vanished instantly. Wrapped in pure comfort, Liao Tingyan, a woman who lived for sleep, didn't even pause to wonder why. She simply pulled the covers tight, and surrendered to slumber, leaving Sima Xiao in stunned silence. Was his blood a secret sedative? No, she was just out like a light, a total enigma. As the realm's apex predator, even he was baffled, had the demonic realm, sent such a peculiar spy? He glanced at his silly black snake, then shook his head, no, This girl was something else. Unlike the fools who threw themselves at him, she, had quietly, managed to charm his own pet. Perhaps this was a grander design? The more he pondered, the more his dark curiosity grew. This was actually entertaining, far more intriguing than, the usual brainless plots he faced. He reached out, tilting her chin up to inspect that scheming face under the dim light. Such a devious mind, hidden behind such a seductive mask, Suddenly, her eyes fluttered open. The first sight she saw, Sima Xiao, his eyes glowing crimson, looming over her with a smirk. His fingers gripped her jaw, and her soul nearly left her body, oh God, she was dead. She scrambled off the bed, hitting the floor in a frantic kowtow, Grandmaster, please spare me. Panic consumed her. Her soul was already at death's door. He'd called her brave before, but it was a lie. If she were actually brave, she wouldn't be seconds away, from a total, humiliating breakdown. Sima Xiao watched her clueless expression, wondering if this acting, was just her most brilliant trick. He despised masks, and for a moment, he truly considered ending her, right then and there. Without a word, he dropped the ultimate death question, why exactly are you here? She gave the scripted response, to serve the Grandmaster, he scoffed, tired of the same lies. With a flick of his hand, he invoked the truth spell, his power settled, making her thoughts transparent. He tapped her forehead, try again, tell me your real purpose here. The truth spilled out uncontrollably. I just wanted a vacation and to fix my sleep schedule. Sima Xiao froze, expecting a sinister plot, instead he found, only pure, ridiculous nonsense. The spell never lied, especially not against her, slash. So this absurd answer, slash, had to be the truth. Had the demonic realm, slash, fried her brain? Slash, meanwhile, slash, Liao Tingyan's panic reached a fever pitch. Why was she blurting out, slash, her every secret thought? Slash, this had to be, slash, his twisted magic. This fantasy world was a nightmare. Slash, before she could even blink, slash, Sima Xiao's mood snapped. The calm vanished, slash, replaced by a hand tightening on her throat, slash, his eyes were ice, slash, his grip iron. You want to kill me? Slash, his voice dripped with lethal suspicion, slash, she could barely draw a breath. His expression darkened as he squeezed, slash, then why don't you? Slash. Her mind raced in a desperate panic. Was he totally insane? Slash, was he suffering from paranoid delusions? Slash, under his power? Slash, she had no choice. The honest truth escaped her. Slash, because I have no reason to. Slash, Sima Xiao suddenly went still. Those words struck a hidden nerve, slash, dredging up memories he'd buried, slash, his face twisted into something monstrous. Killing intent radiated like a storm, slash, in this world, slash, you don't need a reason to kill. No grudge, slash, no reason, slash, what if I kill you now, slash, his blood-red eyes, slash, searched for her fear. Liao Tingyan was utterly bewildered, slash, how could a respected Grandmaster, slash, be so incredibly, slash, and dangerously unhinged? Was he really going to murder her, slash, for no reason at all? Slash, this world was pure madness. Her mouth, slash, still cursed by the spell, slash, blurted out the final, slash, devastatingly honest truth. I mean, slash, go ahead, slash, it's not like I can fight back, slash, her internal scream was deafening. She cursed the truth spell, slash, begging for it to wear off, slash, let me beg for mercy, slash, please. Would this crazy man, slash, really send her to an early grave? Slash, she desperately searched for any hope. Sima Zhao, slash, with that unreadable smirk, slash, stared at the fragile woman, slash, struggling beneath his hand. Then, slash, as suddenly as the storm arrived, slash, he lost interest, slash, you want to live, slash, and I'm bored. Liao Tingyan collapsed, slash, coughing and gasping for air, slash, she glanced up at the monster. The Grandmaster stood there, radiating edgelord energy, with a dramatic pose that screamed middle school angst. GK, one second he wanted her dead, the next he didn't. Then his chilling voice rang out again. Now you shall serve me. Leon froze. Her soul screamed no, but her weak skills left no choice. To live, she had to play along, officially entering the nightmare of corporate slave mode. Fine, I'm in. Meanwhile, the giant black snake was ecstatic. It finally had a coworker to share the tyrant boss's burden. And just like that, Leon, who only wanted to mind her own business, became his first close attendant. She became the first girl from the squad to actually get close to the Grandmaster. Meanwhile, across the sect, Mixing led a group toward the tower, hoping to finally earn his favor. The problem was, the man was a walking engine of destruction. The 100-girl squad was already halved. With death looming, some girls retreated, whispering, "Sister, I don't dare to meet the Grandmaster anymore." Mixing's face was cold. "Didn't you beg for this chance?" The girl collapsed in total regret. "I don't want it anymore! I'm terrified!" she wailed, her face pale with the realization of mortality. "He's clearly fallen into madness. Why else would he slaughter our own disciples like that?" As she begged for mercy, Mixing saw the same paralyzing fear reflecting in every other girl's eyes. "Testing them," she offered. "Anyone else? Leave now." Immediately, a crowd turned and bolted away. Mixing's face twisted in fury. "Cowards! If you can't handle this, you'll never capture his golden attention." Unlike those weaklings, she was handpicked by the sect leader himself. She was truly special. She alone knew his secret, the cursed Fanshan bloodline, and the blood-soaked taboo of his dark birth. Confident she understood him best, she stayed. Unia was dead, yet she remained alive. Proof of favor. As long as she kept returning daily, she knew she'd eventually conquer his cold, mysterious heart. Daily visits fueled her certainty that she'd reach him. Meanwhile, Leone dragged herself toward the tower. Exuding the soul-crushing energy of a corporate drone on a Monday morning, she arrived at the entrance. There stood Mi Xing, kneeling like a board and repeatedly chanting her devotion to the silent tower. "Grandmaster, please accept me," Mi Xing cried. Leon gave her a silent, impressed thumbs up. This girl is built different, she thought, while simultaneously trying to stay as far away as possible. How mentally unstable did one have to be to willingly chase after such a notoriously moody man? Respect, though. No wonder she was the leader. Her commitment to this toxic situation was next level. As Leon approached, her footsteps caught Mi Xing's attention. Seeing her alive, Mi Xing's eyes widened in shock. Leon had zero motivation to chat. If someone wanted to disrespect their own life, that was their business. Me? I'm just trying to live forever, she muttered, turning toward the entrance of the forbidden tower. Mi Xing watched with curiosity. Lately, anyone who dared approach that tower ended up as a corpse. But this woman stood there, unscathed. Mi Xing waited, expecting a gruesome, bloody show to begin. She even threw a sarcastic jab. "Oh, you think you can just knock and waltz right in?" Leon paused mid-knock. Good point. He made her staff, but didn't issue a high-clearance ID badge. With the entrance under heavy security, she had no choice. Knocking was her only desperate gamble. But before her hand landed, the doors swung open on their own, leaving Leone blinking in surprise. She strolled inside. Meanwhile, Mi Xing was losing her mind. Wait, did she actually just get in? She was alive! Mi Xing, who thought she was the favorite, felt her worldview shatter into pieces. In an instant, her pride was crushed. Refusing to accept this, she blindly stepped forward to follow. Stepping forward, she crossed the threshold. A sharp scream erupted. In a flash, she was gone. Exploding into mist, she vanished. Leon spun, but the doors had already slammed shut behind her. She couldn't see the carnage, but the metallic scent of blood in the air told the story. Her heart hammered. Terrified, she backed up and collided with someone very solid and tall. Sima Zhao appeared from nowhere, standing right behind her and watching the entire scene unfold. Seeing the horror on her face, he chuckled. "Yep, she's dead," he remarked with casual indifference. Another life was snuffed out before her eyes. The horror was becoming a dull ache. Suddenly, Sima Zhao gripped her chin, forcing her to meet his freezing gaze. "Do you know why I killed her?" He didn't even wait for her reply. "Most die for greed or power, predictable eyesores. But she wasn't even human. A hollow, brainwashed puppet. That emptiness is far more revolting than simple greed." His voice turned lethal. "She was too loud. So I erased her existence." He turned toward the stairs. Liao Tingyan followed, her mind fractured with confusion. This Grandmaster was a total enigma. Why explain his actions to her now? He was even leading her personally. Was he being reasonable for once? No, it was likely an illusion, a cruel trick of the flickering light. After countless floors, her legs buckled. Terror had been replaced by bone-deep exhaustion. If they kept climbing, she would collapse before he ever got the chance. Sima Jiao didn't slow. She forced her screaming muscles to keep pace. At the 22nd floor, she finally broke, collapsing onto the cold stone floor. She gasped for air. Was this frail body truly capable of cultivation? He must have sealed her powers. Just as she cursed her fate, a pond caught her eye. At its center, a red lotus bloomed brilliantly. Flames danced on its petals without a source. It was hauntingly beautiful. Mesmerized, she stood up. The fire crackled, yet the flower remained untouched. Fantasy tropes suggested this bizarre plant, was an incredibly rare, divine treasure. She was so distracted she didn't sense Sima Zhao's sudden predatory movement. A cold hand gripped her neck, snapping her back to a terrifying reality. He dragged her toward the lotus. "Do you know what this is?" Before she could answer, he plucked a petal and held it up. Then a faint, childlike scream echoed. She dismissed it as a hallucination. Sima Zhao laughed coldly. "They sent you here knowing absolutely nothing, didn't they?" Feeling helpless, she simply nodded. "No one told me anything, Grandmaster." He stared at her, then crushed the petal into glowing golden dust. Another sob echoed. Sima Zhao gave a cold, absolute command. "From now on, you will water this thing every day." Then he vanished. She stared, dumbfounded. Water a fire? Was he being serious right now? If I pour water on a flame, won't it just die out? She didn't dare ask. She just muttered complaints about her heartless boss. First day, and he dumps an impossible task before swaggering away. But with no memories, she had to obey. Watering duty it is. She pulled out a gourd and began pouring water onto the burning petals. Sizzle! A piercing wail erupted. The fire was literally crying in pain. "You bastard! I'll burn you alive!" The flames surged like a tantrum. The fire morphed into a gaping mouth, spitting a jet of scorching heat. It could talk! Even gardening in this place was a literal death trap. She scrambled back, dodging the rage while blasting more water at it. Soon, the fireball lost its fight, replaced by pitiful, broken sobs. "Stop, please! I can't take any more!" Liao Tingyan tilted her head, intrigued. The flame spoke again. "Who are you? Why did he bring you here?" She kept her answer vague. "I'm just here to serve the Grandmaster." "From the immortal sect!" the spirit shrieked. "Finally, a savior has arrived to rescue me from that psycho!" With sudden self-righteousness, it huffed. "Since you're kin, you're forbidden from watering me." Leoan simply rolled her eyes. "And what should I tell the Grandmaster?" she challenged. The flame scoffed. "Aren't you his woman? Just act cute." She blinked, stunned. "Wait, whose woman?" "Duh, he brought you here, didn't he? That makes you his possession. You're a girl, so you're his lady. It's basic logic. Didn't the people who sent you explain any of this?" The flame's voice rang with absolute conviction, as if stating the most obvious fact. "Now, go and seduce him." "I can't suffer like this anymore." Ignoring the plea, Liao Yan ruthlessly doused the annoying spark with more water. Just shut up. She couldn't even be angry. After being locked away for 500 years, its mind was gone. Its brain was clearly fried. The tiny ember wailed and cursed as the watering continued. "Samaya has lost his mind. If he kills me, he'll die too, and you! How dare you drown me? I'll burn you to ashes one day. I'll scatter your remains before that bastard." Suddenly, a low, chilling laugh echoed, turning the air to ice. "Oh? Is that so?" Both froze in terror. They turned slowly to find Samaya standing there, his aura pulsing dangerously. Rage flickered between his brows. This was very bad. He eyed the lotus petals like he was ready to shred them into nothingness. Even the arrogant little fire knew they had monumentally screwed up this time.